Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma. On the news this afternoon. Former Rivers Commissioner alleges budget padding in 2025 Rivers budget. Residents say emergency rules stalled development in River State. NSA 36 states launch joint action over food inflation. On the foreign scene, pro-Palestinian activists break into UK RAF airbase. I'm Ifechuku Moyele with the news. Now, the spokesperson for the PDP presidential campaign in the 2023 general election, Lelo Nwibubasa, has described the upward review of the 2025 Rivers budget as budget padding. Speaking on Arise Television, Nwibubasa said the review is a padding to accommodate the money allegedly looted from the state. He said none of his actions have contributed meaningfully to the development of the state's economy.
You went ahead and increased that budget to about 1.4 trillion, and then it was submitted to the Senate, and on return it has been increased to 1.8 million, and you want to tie that to performance. This is budget padding. This is a padding to accommodate the money that has been looted from Rivers State so far. There is no gainsaying about it. The sole administrator does not understand our needs and desire.
Nwibubasa said the sole administrator, who was originally tasked with resolving the political crisis in Rivers State, appears to have made his position permanent without delivering results for the people.
A sole administrator that cannot even pay salary in time, is that the sole administrator that when somebody is coming to your house, please, and said he wants to pass 2 nights in your house, and he comes with 20 boxes, what does that tell you? He's not coming to pass 2 nights. He's probably going to pass a year in your house. That's exactly what we are saying in this emergency rule. A man that was supposed to be a bridge and mediate peace, he's now carrying baggages as if he has come to dwell. I think Rivers State has become the dwelling place of the sole administrator.
The former Rivers Commissioner of Empowerment and Employment Generation also criticized the appointment of a non-Rivers indigene as chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC.
Where in Nigeria have we had an independent electoral commission of a state headed by someone from another state? This is a terrible precedent, and so Nigerians shall also be asking if we can get chairmen of electoral commissions from other countries like Ghana and those doing well in their democracy to come and head that of Nigeria, since Rivers State has become the space where we will begin to experiment these kind of things.
Now, yesterday, the Rivers State sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, announced an upward review of the state's 2025 budget from 1.48 trillion naira to 1.846 trillion naira. The review represents an increase of approximately 400 billion naira. Administrator Ibas disclosed this while presenting the revised budget before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Rule on Thursday. It said the state's total revenue for 2024 stood at 1.04 trillion naira, exceeding the budget target of 800.39 billion naira. Administrator Ibas reiterated that some officials withheld critical expenditure information during the budget development process, particularly concerning first quarter spending, which led to an incomplete reflection of actual government outlays. He acknowledged that the proposal may not be perfect given the tight timeline and prevailing circumstances under which it was prepared. Meanwhile, the Senate says about 85% of the 1.48 trillion naira 2025 Rivers State budget submitted by its sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, was originally drafted by the suspended governor Siminalayi Fubara. Chairman of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Governance in Rivers State, Senator Bemi Bamidele, made this known on Thursday during a budget defense session with Ibas and key state officials at the National Assembly. According to him, the Red Chamber thoroughly reviewed the details of the budget in the last 3 weeks. Bamidele noted that only 15% of the budget was added by the current administrator to accommodate new projects. He also said the Senate will closely monitor the disbursement and implementation of the budget. He said the lawmakers will track the budget performance over the coming months to ensure transparency, timely implementation, and value for money. Well, in another development, as the emergency rule in Rivers State marks 3 months, some residents of Port Harcourt say it has brought more uncertainty than stability. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, the resident noted that development projects have been stalled and the city is now littered with dirt. They also noted that the state was making progress before the emergency rule.
It has brought more uncertainty to the state because for 3 months now, we don't know where we are heading to as a state. It has not brought any stability into the system. Instead, what we have is uncertainty. People are not sure of what will happen from now. So there's this anxiety. People are not feeling safe. People are not feeling comfortable with the way things have been going.
No, his coming here does not make an impact. Rather than he's setting the state backward. Look at the state. Look at everywhere. Hit objective. The state is not moving now. Even is not developing now. Look at it. Main projects have stopped.
From government out, that's far as is down to Rumukuru. You see that nothing is happening. It's just like you are just living in a lawless state.
There is no development. The state is just as if Rivers State we don't have nothing. The state was moving, later they changed the situation of the state. Now we don't know where we are going.
Meanwhile, spokesman of the African Democratic Congress ADC, Luckyman Egila, says the party will drag the sole administrator to court if he goes ahead with any conduct of local government elections. Egila made this known in an interview with correspondent Siobi Oruwari.
We are actually evaluating whatever they are doing, and the moment we see that the present research that is being set up that the Senate committee is working on, for Christ's sake, is a bunch of illegality, we are going to court to challenge whatever they are doing. And coming to say they want to conduct local government elections when we don't have faith, for Christ's sake, you're making a non-citizen a chairman of an electoral body to conduct election for remote citizens. Place our democracy heading to, for Christ's sake. President Tinubu is making serious democratic mistakes, allowing a lot of things that are not supposed to be. And I think our representatives, who we call senators and House of Reps members, are becoming rubber stamp.
Recall that June 18 marks 3 months since President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. The emergency rule led to the suspension of the governor, his deputy, state lawmakers, and the appointment of a retired Naval Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas as the sole administrator for 6 months. The president's decision stems from the political crisis between the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and PFTT Minister Nyesom Wike. Coming up next, NSA 36 states launch joint action over food inflation.
Hey there, it's STEM Festival, Africa's global STEM celebration.
The federal government has closed its case in the ongoing trial of IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu in the allegations bordering on terrorism and treason. The federal government lawyer Adeboyega Owomolo announced this after the fifth prosecution witness was led in evidence and cross-examined by Kano's lawyer, Onyechi Bazu, before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Now, over 3 weeks after a devastating flood in Mokwa, Niger State, 2 more decomposed bodies have been recovered, bringing the confirmed death toll to over 200. Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency in Selma, Abdullahi Babaara, said the bodies were found after recent rains washed away sand dunes that had covered them. As you may know, the flood caused by torrential rain on May 29 also displaced over 3,000 people and destroyed more than 50 homes. Speaking at an event on Thursday, Niger State Deputy Governor Yakubu Garba, representing Governor Mohamed Bago, revealed that more than 700 people are still missing as a result of the disaster. Displaced persons from Yelwata in Benue State protested on Thursday over poor living conditions and alleged diversion of relief materials at their temporary camp in Makurdi. Protesters blocked access to the camp, accusing officials of withholding aid donated by individuals and organizations. And now in business, worried by food insecurity in the country, the Nigeria Governors Forum has agreed to work closely with the federal government to harmonize levies, eliminate illegal checkpoints, and enhance the free flow of goods across states. Now, this formed part of the resolution of the 36 state governors meeting on Wednesday in Abuja. Reading the communique of the meeting on behalf of their chairman and Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said widespread checkpoints, unlawful levies, and inadequate infrastructure are major factors driving food price inflation and disrupting the food supply chain.
The NSA noted that a high-level interministerial committee has been established to address these concerns and has submitted its recommendation for the endorsement of the forum. Governors thereafter acknowledged the urgency of this matter and expressed commitment to collaborate with the federal authorities to streamline the levies, to dismantle unauthorized checkpoints, and to improve the movement of goods, especially food items, across the states.
The governors also voiced concern over the World Bank's failure to fulfill its funding commitment under the Nigeria Community Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program. Still in business, following the rise in the price of crude oil in the international market as a result of the war between Israel and Iran, some filling stations in Port Harcourt metropolis have started adjusting the pump price of fuel to the new depot price. Our correspondent observed this during his visit to some petrol stations in parts of Port Harcourt metropolis. Speaking to correspondent Buruwari on this, a filling station owner in Port Harcourt, Johnny Francis, complained the depot price of fuel has risen from 890 naira to 920 naira. Mr. Francis, while explaining the reasons for the new price of fuel, said those with old stock still increase the price of their old product.
Our wahala with the fuel increase, we don't know. Then reach before you do expenses now, you go reach 930, 940 to some areas. Now people will get old stock still the same, but people will get new stock. Some them they say 970 now, some 98. Depends on your location. The depot come out on Monday, say the increase price. They say the problem in the Middle East, like they cannot have enough crude oil. Like crude oil is corrupted in the international market. No Nigerian people, when something go up in the international market, they come increase the local content immediately. But on a product where they get already, but they increase it overnight.
Meanwhile, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has welcomed the recently announced plan by the Dangote Refinery to distribute petrol and diesel free of charge to marketers across the country. Speaking on Channels Television today, IPMAN's National Publicity Secretary Chinedu Ukadike praised businessman Aliko Dangote for seeing a problem in the sector and deciding to tackle it. Aside from fuel easily getting to people's doorposts across the country, the Ipman spokesperson said that Dangote's new plan will relieve marketers of unnecessary costs. In entertainment, legendary musician Bright Chimezie has revealed plans to release new music while speaking to Hip TV at the video shoot of Davido's With You featuring Omale. Nigerian highlife legend Bright Chimezie revealed that he wasn't aware that Davido sampled his record in the viral hit single. In sports, Brazilian side Botafogo pulled off the biggest surprise of the tournament so far with a 1-0 victory over European champions Paris Saint-Germain at the Club World Cup.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Pro-Palestinian activists have broken into RAF Brize Norton and sprayed 2 military planes with red paint in a major security breach. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has condemned the action as disgraceful, saying that it was an act of vandalism. Footage posted online by Palestine Action Today showed 2 people inside the Oxfordshire airbase in darkness, with one riding on a scooter up to the Airbus Voyager and spraying paint into its jet engine. The Ministry of Defense, which has also condemned the move, is now expected to conduct a review of security at UK military bases. It is working with Thames Valley Police, which is leading the investigation.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria in.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. A former Rivers Commissioner, Lelo Nwibubasa, has alleged budget padding in the 2025 Rivers budget. Residents say emergency rules stalled development in Rivers State. The NSA and 36 states have launched a joint action over food inflation, illegal roadblocks, and multiple taxation. On the foreign scene, pro-Palestinian activists broke into the UK RAF airbase. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyale. Many thanks for listening.